Thank you everybody. Now look, it's been a very big honor for us to be associated with Honda powertrains this season. So in honor of their home race here in Japan, we've gone with a special livery today. Now hopefully all you Japanese fans out there, and I know you do love your AVR merchandise, go snap up this special stuff. It's good quality. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. Today we have the Japanese Grand Prix and of course we have Honda, or Red Bull Honda power units this season. So in honour of that and Honda's home race, we've gone with a Japanese livery. Now ideally, and I think it was Neil in the comments that suggested it should just be an all-white car with a little red dot on the top. This was as close as I could get to. I could get to that. I did love the idea of having an all-white car and then like just a little red dot at the top here. But this is as good as we could get. And to be honest, I think it looks pretty sharp, and I think it's going to look pretty good on track as well. So the sponsors' logos kind of match in nicely. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good car livery in my unbiased, humbled opinion. So yeah, let's go and have a look at what we're doing here, though. Now, of course, after a double points finish, and by the way, Jack Doohan in Formula 1 next year, wonderful news that is for him, really pleased for him. But anyway, we had a wonderful double points finish in Bahrain, just missed out in what's it called, Saudi Arabia. We did get 1 or 2 points, didn't we, in Australia, which was good. But I want to get back to big point scoring ways here, and let's hope we can do just that. Now, in terms of things that have happened, we are in the process of upgrading our hospitality. That is just basically to get the marketability and sponsorship money. The helipad is now 5-star. And the other thing, oh no, I didn't actually do it in the end. I want to get the race simulator up a level because I want our young drivers that we have now. We have affiliates plus Doohan. I really want to make sure that we are upgrading this race simulator so that their development is not held back at all. And Team Hub is something else that we'll look to do at some point. We've got the 5.6 million now. The reason I'm cautious about doing this is that we do have in the next week or so new parts coming in to the design that will need to be manufactured, so I just want to make sure that we're not going to leave ourselves short of cash in the event that we then have an accident and sort of everything hits the fan. So that's where we're at now. Top speed and engine cooling are still a bit of an issue for us. The track ranking here is maybe not ideal. We basically have the slowest cars in a straight line. Now hopefully the front wing side pod suspension may improve that a little bit, but it's not going to make a huge difference. Cornering is where we're sort of focused, and you know we are pretty good in the sort of corners that Suzuka has. So let's go and have a look at the track here. We are expecting a wet race. Did I just see a wet race? Oh, god damn it. So circuit map, red is sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. Now when we have a look at the sections by speed here, we can see medium and more fast speed sections, to be fair, than the medium sections. So that is good for our car. That is our strength, that and acceleration. So I'm hopeful, especially sector 1, we're going to be quite competitive here. We can see there it's going to be a 2-stopper. Well, that doesn't matter anyway because it's going to be a wet race. So compound performance again kind of goes out the window because it's going to be a bit of a wet race. Carlos Sainz won here last year by under 1/10 of a second, so that would have been a good one. I don't remember it, but anyway, that's where we're at. And our race targets will be, as they always are, 18th or higher. And if we're any lower than that, oh, look at that, 9th and 10th ranked on the grid here. Points. We've got to be scoring points. So it is just light rain for the race, so that's just like Melbourne, isn't it? So that's where we're at. I will see you for qualifying once I do some free practice here. Now, one thing I should say too, we are going to put in the kids for free practice ones eventually. I just don't think they're quite ready yet, so that's why we haven't seen them in free practice. Plus, they've got F3 to worry about, don't they? We need them winning that to get up to F2. Alright, welcome back. Now we've done our free practice. FP1, Stoffel's up there in 8th, Doohan in 12th. Only did a medium tyre run though. FP2, a little bit further down, but we used a hard tyre in this one, so 16th and 19th, which obviously isn't ideal, but I think we redeemed ourselves here because both cars in the top 10, albeit a little ways off the pace of the Red Bull, or specifically Verstappen, but 10th is 10th, isn't it? Doesn't really matter how far ahead Verstappen is. Now, we're going to, in this one, we're going to get some new, well, he already had a fairly new engine, did Stoffel. We're going to whack in the new ERS, and already had a fairly new gearbox, and then we'll do a similar thing with Doohan. He gets a brand new engine unused, so don't stick it in a wall, please, mate. He can have a new ERS for this one. And what we'll do is the older ones would, and new gearbox as well, will just become free practice ones. So we'll use them down in free practice, and you'll use these ones for races and qualifying. So big effort needed here. Let's go and see the car on track, and then hopefully Q1's no problem. And here we come round into the Dagners, and yeah. Doesn't scream Aussie Villain Racing, but it's not too bad, is it? So just the one run, and we were absolutely fine. 9th and 11th in the end, and no major casualty. Maybe Stroll in an Aston Martin's been fairly competitive, but yeah, Haas's, Sauber's, and then Alpine is all fairly... Actually, both Aston Martins were struggling. So yeah, they've been pretty competitive, I think, with us, haven't they? Okay, so we've done our first run on used tyres. We're currently 9th with Doohan, 13th with Van Dorn. Not sure what happened to Stoffel. He's half a second behind Doohan, but anyway, that's where we're at. Both cars should have good clear track. It looks like they do. And there shouldn't be. This McLaren might get in our way. You can see on the mini-map. I'm not sure if it's on a hot lap or not. Doesn't look like we're catching it particularly quickly. So I think both cars have got a clear run at this. And Stoffel has done a green first sector. Doohan has not. So that is slightly problematic, because if Van Dorn goes quicker, then suddenly Doohan in 9th is in a little bit of trouble here as Tsunoda goes ahead of Doohan. So he's got to go quicker. Otherwise, one of our cars is missing out. Van Dorn has gone green, green. Doohan has gone yellow, yellow. And we see it from Doohan time and time again, don't we? He's just not always able to deliver when it matters most. Is he going to be able to find a couple of tenths and knock out Tsunoda? He cannot. So it's P11 for Doohan. Alright, so here we go with Stoffel. First run as ever on a used set of tyres. And, yeah, so let's see what he can do. We're at 7th right now. I suspect Leclerc has got more to come, and Pourchaire is off the pace completely. So those two are going to go better. We'll see if we can improve on the 9th we had in Q2. Yeah, we see it from Doohan, though, we don't time and time again, where sometimes he pulls out a blinding lap, but he just isn't the most consistent, is he? Now, we've got a Red Bull here, which I think is Verstappen. That is on a cooldown lap that might potentially get in our way. No, he did well. Got out of our way before Spoon. Only yellow in the first sector for Van Dorn. Can we go better in the second sector? The thing is here, he has gone quick up. Big finish of the lap, Stoffel. Can he nail this chicane? Nice run out of here. And let's see if we can go any quicker. He has gone marginally quicker. But it looks like he's going to be starting from 9th unless Tsunoda can find half a second. You'd be annoyed, and he's not. So it is 9th and 11th. Oh, it's going to be like just a wet race. Is that what I'm taking from this? Track graph. Why have we gone into a weird strategy? Yeah, I mean, that is... And that might be a small... Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be wet the whole time, isn't it? So if that's the case, I mean, you would want to try and split the race in two, wouldn't you? And try and never have terrible tyres. I don't really see the benefit in doing something like preserving tyres and then pushing on them. You would just try and split the race 50-50, surely. But anyway, we'll see. There's a couple of points here where it might err towards dry if our weather radar's a little bit off, but yeah, I think we're going to have a wet one. Alright, welcome back. There's a part of me that wonders if it's worth sort of doing the reverse and really pushing off the line and getting an undercut on tyres. But I don't know that is necessarily in our benefit. Now, one thing I think I will do is I'm not going to tell us to not defend, because there's going to be no DRS. There's only going to be one pit stop, so I think we probably do, even if we lose time, we want to try and defend our position as much as possible. So Van Dorn has moved up a couple to 7th off the line. Doohan is in 10th. Now, one thing I don't think we want to do too much is use too much battery early on here, because I think battery is going to be quite important. And we don't certainly want to be cooking tyres too early on here either. The track is already damp. So yeah, I mean, it's not vitally important to stay within a second, because like I say, there's no DRS anyway, so it doesn't affect us too much. Now, is Pourchaire going to come past us without battery? We've got the battle assist on. It should hopefully have the common sense to deploy out of the chicane. And it looks like it has. So 7th and 10th. We'll see how we go. I suspect that everybody is really pushing off to be that much faster than what Van Dorn is right now. But again, that should come. We want to make sure we're not cooking these tyres too early on here as well. But yeah, I think it should all come back to us. because we obviously will have the option to deploy at a later time. So, yeah, hopefully we're not as slow as we look at this point. Oh, and we've got a safety car for a crash between, it was Ocon and somebody a little bit further back. So this is going to do us wonders in terms of, let's have a quick, did I miss it? I think I just got it. So it's Ocon and Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg's in an Aston Martin, isn't he?
On the car,
oh, Hulk.
It's quite clear.
Yeah, that's not great, mate.
Well, there'll definitely be fingers being pointed.
So this is interesting. A lot of cars have come into the pits. You can see sort of Bottas back. Now, I'm assuming the plan for them is to try and go to the end on this set of tyres. That presumably is what they're thinking.
Copy.
It would be very, very marginal to be able to do it, I would have thought. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't regret not doing it, because I'm not sure that I think you'd have to stop again anyway, and certainly if you're at the back, then you might as well try it. But yeah, let's deploy so we don't miss out on positions here. And one thing that was happening, we're 6th and 8th, by the way, now as well, which you would have seen probably when I cut back if I had edited that in. We were pulling away from Porsche, who did come in the pits. Now, it would be interesting to see now if we pull away from Hamilton, or if Hamilton is sort of closer to the back of us. You know, exactly where everything shakes out there. It looks like Hamilton is sort of closer to the back of Van Dorn in front, doesn't it? So this is us behind. Yeah, behind. So yeah, I would. My suspicion here is that, well, we need to try and make sure we beat the Mercedes. The Mercedes coming in so early has given us the opportunity to be ahead of them in the, at the end of the race. If they have to stop again, if they don't have to stop again, then it's going to be very difficult to beat them, and we're sort of looking at making sure we're 9th and 10th really at that point, maybe if we could stay ahead of Hamilton. But I think even staying ahead of Hamilton is going to be a little bit of an ask, given he's in a Ferrari and we are, although we've pulled away this lap. Oh, we're still deploying, probably a big part of that. But yeah, no real threat from behind. Doohan did this in the last stint as well. Was able to pull clear of Tsunoda. So we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so the race is very definitely settled down a bit now. There's been some crashes sort of behind us, but nothing obviously safety car worthy. Now, what we do have is we're on board with Van Dorn. He's still got Hamilton behind him. We know have very good acceleration. The only real spot to pass on this track is into turn 1. And the acceleration out of the chicane is allowing us to stay ahead of Hamilton, and then we're deploying a little bit. If you look, with the AI doing it down the straight, and that's stopping Hamilton with combined with the acceleration. It's sort of, and there is no DRS, of course. Let's not forget in the wet, he can't get past us. So it's already looking as though it might come down to. Oh no, he's got him. Just as I said that, he's letting past. Alright, well, I was just going to say, it might come down to trying to stop a lap, the same lap or the lap after Hamilton, and trying to, that might be the only way he can get past us, and then stops, just let him go past down the inside of the hairpin. So that was silly, wasn't it? We'll see if maybe we get him back with some good acceleration, and yeah. Well, we've got to try and stay with him as best we can. Realistically, 7th and 8th may well be the best we can do. Doohan is a fair way, 4 seconds behind, but he's pulling out the gap 2 seconds now to Tsunoda. And yeah, the Mercedes are kind of stuck behind the RBs right now. So that's all looking good from that point of view. Their tyre life is not that great, really. So whether they be able to get to the end from here or not is debatable, I would say. If they do, they're going to be going very slowly. And what's our gap? If we go gap to leader, we've got 10 seconds already with Van Dorn. So that was 6 seconds to Doohan. Van Dorn particularly, I think will be close enough. Even if we do have to stop, that he'll be able to get them back. Doohan maybe not so much, but we'll see. Okay, so we've had a development, and that is Bottas has got past one of the RBs, so he has caught Tsunoda at a rate of knots. Now, Tsunoda is just starting to pull back in on Doohan, which is not ideal. Doohan's doing this trick he does at the end of a stint where he starts to really struggle for pace. You can see second lap again, slower. Now, we are about to go to dry conditions, so how long is this going to last? It's not enough, is it? It's really not enough to come in for dry tyres. So I think what we might do is we won't slow up. We'll keep pushing. And then we'll come in for the inters, the new inters. Now let's see if O'Ward has come in the pits. Is he gonna try for a soft? I mean, he might as well. He's a long last. No, he's just coming for inters. So yeah, that's where we're at. Van Dorn is just having a bit of a quiet race at this point. He couldn't keep up with... it's only 3 seconds. You know, how many laps have gone? 10 or so laps since we got overtaken. It's still only 3 seconds, so it's not like he's cruising up the road. We're certainly close enough that if he has a bad pit stop, we could get back in front. But yeah, we'll see. Pit stops will be coming up shortly. The track is nowhere near dry enough to risk going onto a soft, so yeah, we'll see. We won't need to worry about avoiding the curbs anymore because these tyres will be coming off soon. I mean, there's no need. We can come in whenever. It's not like there's any sort of great need, but obviously if we can go to roughly halfway, then the tyres have shared the workload and it should work out better for us. But yeah, a little bit worried about Doohan and his pace. Tsunoda and Bottas are... they're right behind him now, really.
You ready?
And I mean, there they are. And that gap was not that long ago, sort of 3 or so seconds. So, oh, here they come. Doohan, oh. Maybe I bring him in now. Maybe we bring him in now. Try and get an undercut. I think they're catching him too quickly, aren't they? So we'll try that. And hopefully... got a yellow flag. Oh, did Tsunoda lost a position? He locked up. So now we've got Bottas behind us. How close did he get to the back of Doohan, actually?
Let's watch these cars as they head into turn 10.
Oh.
The brakes couldn't
He's
cope,
seen that. Oh,
and they'll need to be
that
mindful
on
of
a
the
wet
effect that
track with
had
wet
on the
grass.
tyres.
I don't think he would have been stopping then. I think that should have been straight into the side of Doohan. He's seen the red on the back of our car and he's like a bull, isn't he? He's just attacking it. Anyway, let's see. Let's hope we get a good stop here for Doohan. And perhaps the new tyres will give him that little bit of extra pace that he needs. The issue we might have, of course, is at the end of the race, he probably will be struggling just as bad. If we can get into a nice little bit of free air here, we've got a decent stop. Albon is coming down the front straight. We're at the back of the front of the pit lane though, and it looks like we have got out into free air, so that's good. Let's deploy, and yeah, let's try and get. Well, it's not really an undercut, is it? Because we're already ahead of them, but you know what I mean. Like, just make sure that they don't overtake us. We need to be doing some green sectors if we can. Tyre temps still not quite where we need them yet. Let's see, we're looking for the second sector, which will be into 130R at the end of this straight that we're about to come down to here. Nobody else is coming to the pit, so that's... oh, he has done a personal best. I mean, the track is fairly dry, so that's maybe to be expected anyway, just from conditions. See if he does a purple final sector. That'll give us confidence, won't it? Alright, so we're not going to use any more deploy, because we'll need some for the rest of the race. But yeah, we've pulled out. We're 6 seconds ahead of Albon now, so we're in a decent place. We just need to try and... now, what's Bottas doing in relation to Van Dorn? He's catching him about half a second. I don't want to come 9th and 10th here. Let's hope we can stay ahead of the Mercs. Okay, so we're bringing Van Dorn in this lap. Is that a safety car? We've got multiple cars that have crashed. Is Doohan okay? Doohan seems to be okay. What's happened? Is it behind us? If it's behind us, it doesn't affect us. It's George Russell again. He already has a penalty. And that's not going to be on him, I don't think, because Russell's in the Williams, isn't he? Oh, he's going to come back across. No, it's okay. Oh, red flag. Okay, well that seems unnecessary, so that's screwed Doan, but it's worked out quite nicely for Van Dorn, who was about to come in.
Here we are, tackling turn 3.
So what's he done? Is he? Oh, he's going to get cleaned up by the leaders. It's a McLaren.
That's quite an impact between them.
Wow.
Knocked their confidence.
So that explains the red flag somewhat more. Yeah, Doan absolutely shafted there. I mean, he would have been coming in about the same time. So it's that's what you get when you don't. When you're not doing a good job on your tyres. So we'll stick him on a new set because there's no reason not to. The track, it should still be wet. I didn't actually check that, but it should still be wet. And it is Norris that is out. So that's going to move Van Dorn up to 6th, Doan up to 11th. And let's try this again. So it is thankfully still raining. I had a horrible feeling for a second then I was going to come back and the track was going to be dry because I didn't check what the conditions were forecast to be when we came back. But that's all good. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Deploy. We need to deploy off the line. And we probably need to be attacking a bit on the tyres too, don't we? And yeah, well, let's hope Van Dorn can hang on to this. It would be a stunning result for us. We don't want on board with Dorn. We don't want Bottas coming past us. Maloney's got a penalty for a major collision. I don't see how Russell and getting hit by Norris is Maloney's fault, other than the fact he put Russell on the grass. But he didn't do any. You know, I mean, the accident wasn't. It was him coming back from the grass. It wasn't maybe. But that's a little feels a little bit like penalising the outcome, not the incident, to me. But anyway, let's avoid these high-risk curbs. Try and keep the temperatures down as much as possible. So Doan has got himself past Ricciardo into 10th. Everybody is going to be on these tyres to the end, you would assume. So it's very much, yeah, go flat out, see what you can get. And, yeah, try and save some tyres for the end, I guess. But you don't want to be dropping. Now, has the weather forecast changed at all? Not really. Not really. Alright, so Van Dorn this time is doing quite a good job of keeping the pressure on Hamilton. And, as we've just seen there, Pourchaire behind him, who was putting him under big pressure, to be fair, has locked up. We forced the mistake. And we've got a little bit of breathing space as well. So Stoff is doing brilliantly. And as for Doan, I mean, he's not doing terribly himself because we dropped back a little bit to charge the battery. Now, Bottas has just got past Tsunoda, but we should have more than enough to be able to get past him as well. With a fully charged battery, what we'll do is we'll just sort of catch him as we are, like half a second a lap, and then we'll deploy and make sure we get past him. But yeah, I would be more than happy for Stoff. I don't think we're quick enough to pass a Ferrari. But if he can keep the two Mercedes behind him, if Dylan can go and get Tsunoda and make that this 10th and 9th, it's a pretty good day's work in Japan, isn't it? Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Oh, it's Van Dorn and Pourchaire! What has Pourchaire done? He's taken Van Dorn out of the race. He's just kicked him up the backside, hasn't he? It's... Oh, Pourchaire, what is that move, dude? So he's out. He's out. Doan is 8th. Potentially 7th if we can go and get past Tsunoda. But we've lost a P6. Oh, you know, it's like if he got a 5-second penalty for that, did Pourchaire, that is worth. He's ruined our race. God knows what sort of damage we're going to have to the car as well, and that's worth 5 seconds. There's nothing Van Dorn. I mean, other than 100% having seeing him coming and just not turning in. I don't. You can't do anything about that. That's unbelievable. Honestly, it's like the red back of the car. It's like everybody's just balls just attacking it. It was all into that corner, wasn't it? We saw... was it the second time Tsunoda locked up, didn't he, behind us? And I think somebody else did as well. Anyway, Tsunoda was just on a bit of a... trying to escape from us after the safety car, ended the virtual safety car. So that's why we were deploying, just to make sure he didn't get too far ahead of us. Track is now dry. I mean, no one's coming in for slick tyres. No, I don't think anybody actually thinks... You know what, if it didn't actually... get back to damp, then maybe you consider it, but we're not going to throw away what is if we stay on the track, a nailed-on 8th, potentially going one higher into 7th. Sorry. So, yeah, we're certainly not going to be stopping. But, yeah, now what we need to worry about here, I guess, a little bit is the Doohan end of stint lack of pace. But if he stays with Tsunoda, charging this battery back up, which usually is what happens, we've got to try and get at least a 7th out of this, don't we? Alright, now the one I've just realised here, actually, is that if the track is dry, DRS is going to be active, isn't it? So, we are going to deploy... Well, don't pass him here. Don't pass him here. Doohan, if he gets us back down this straight with DRS, I'm going to be so... Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't. Oh, Doohan, that wasn't what I wanted you to do, mate. I just wanted you to stay close. Alright, we'll try it next lap. We'll try it next lap. Oh, Jack, that's such poor racecraft, isn't it? Alright, it's surely not going to go back dry before we get to the next, get to that point next lap. It is, of course, just the one DRS zone at Suzuka as well. So we're still right there. We're definitely faster than him. Alright, now, I'm almost tempted to tell you to harvest down here. Do not overtake him. Do not overtake him. Do not overtake him. Okay. Now go. He's all yours. Have him, Doohan. Have him. Come on. Come on. Surely. 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 Alright. P7, and we might just keep deploying a little bit just to make sure we break that that second barrier. We don't need him coming back at us. Half a second. 0.6 of a second. Half a second. He's catching us again. No. Come on, Jack. Don't run up the back of us, please, Yuki. Half a second. 7. There we go. 0.8. There we go. I think this is a little bit closer than I would have liked. He's still right there, isn't he? We've not broken it. He's going to have DRS on us. Come on, Jack. Good run out of there. That looked like a good run, didn't it? It looked like a good run. Don't let him... Are you supposed to be defending, Jack? Come on, man. Alright, let's go with always defend then. Come on. It looks like we're pulling away. I wonder if Yuki just had like a real big push lap there. One thing, this weather with the red flag and virtual safety cars we have saved. I underfueled the car by 3 laps. Oh, Yuki's got us. Oh, has he? Not quite sure what that move was. It was a very half-hearted in the end. Come on, Jack. I mean, how's Yuki suddenly got this pace, by the way? I mean, he was holding us up. And then we get past and suddenly he's Max Verstappen. 0.3 of a second. We can't break it, can we? Alright, let's not use battle assist. Let's not worry about recharging. We've got enough, I think, through the lap to sort of sustain it so we'd never run out. And I don't understand where Yuki's got this pace from. 10 laps to go. His tyres are in a better condition, which is maybe some of the reason why he's able to do this. And, I mean, this battle's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, is it? It might even be a situation where we need to let him back past and try and recharge up our battery. Alright, this is huge. Track conditions have just changed back to damp. No more DRS. That, I actually wonder if that might prevent Yuki from... actually, we might actually be able to pull away if he's DRSing up to the back of us. I mean, we do have a lack of straight line speed, which is probably a part of it. The other thing I've done is I've taken Doohan off avoid high-risk curves because we're essentially just sprinting for the finish now. But Tsunoda is still just right there, refusing to go away. But yeah, he doesn't have DRS to help him anymore. So hopefully that's going to make it a little bit easier for Doohan now. He's done a really good job defending that. And yeah, is he just edging away a little bit now without that DRS sucking Yuki back up every lap? Let's hope so. Alright, so we are coming around with 2 laps to go, and this is potentially like a career-defining drive. It would be his best result, I'm fairly sure. I think it was the 8th or 9th in Bahrain. So it would be his best result in Formula 1, and he's had massive pressure from Tsunoda. And of course there was that time when there was DRS, and he was just blocking turn 1, making sure he couldn't get through. And now he's just starting to edge away a little bit again. As I said, we're essentially sprinting for the end. And what we might even do... I don't want to burn him out of ERS too early. But that gap now is up to over a second. Has Tsunoda called off the chase, I wonder? We will deploy him out of this. He should have enough battery to get the final lap of the race done. And yeah, like I say, it's going to be just a career-defining result for him, I think. He was, 0.8 of a second faster last lap. And Tsunoda is suddenly nowhere to be seen, is he? To the point where we might even just back it off a little bit. We don't need to push that hard now. We're pulling away from Tsunoda, hand over fist. And yeah, Jack Doohan can be very, very proud of himself here, I think, because he has done an excellent job. He's done a really, really good job there. Such a shame, we lost Van Dorn through no fault of our own. It could have been, well, there would have been 2 cars in front of Doohan if it hadn't have happened with Van Dorn and Porsche, which would have been 9th. 6th and 9th would have been a very, very nice race for us. But from Jack's point of view, we will take a 7th. He's pulled out 3 seconds almost on Tsunoda those last few laps. And yeah, Jack Doohan brings it home 7th. And that's pretty good. We would have taken that before the race starts. So Doohan up 4 places, 6 points for him in 7th. And yeah, well, Van Dorn, less said about him, the better. And it's not his fault, it's Porsche. And suddenly, we might have a little enemy on our hands here after he did that to us. And he's been just beating us a few races as well, hasn't he? So Doohan up 2 places, though. He is now ahead of Van Dorn in the championship all of a sudden. So he has 8 points to Stoffel's 6. The constructors, that's a pretty good result for us, given that RB scored 6 points as well. I think my plan is for the season is we're going to try and just get as many points as we can early on, and then once the new rules come through, we'll just try and shift focus over to next year's car. So that, yeah, these sorts of results are great for us. So Doohan was the 4th fastest pit stop. That we've dropped down behind Red Bull after that race, unfortunately, and we just made the 1 stop. So of course Stoffel got his tyres done under red flag, didn't he? And well, Stoffel, he does get his money. There was more. we get his sponsorship money, so it's not a complete waste of a race. And who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? 79 Van Dorn is now rated, so that's good. He's still getting better, which is nice. And I don't want to look at his car. What have we lost powertrain wise? Okay, so the powertrain got off. Not too bad. The gearbox took a little bit, but otherwise that could have been a lot worse. Now we've only got, I think, 4 days until the next race, and we are in a little bit of trouble. Oh no, we've got 11 days. Okay, so that's fine. We can yeah, we can work with that, I think. We'll have a 3rd chassis by then, so that's fine. What else did we lose? Front wing. Front wings are quick and easy to manufacture, so that's not a problem. So we'll go and do another... Wait, no, because we have new ones coming, don't we? We've got a new front wing, so we won't manufacture... We'll manufacture the new one, not that. The side pod has failed. Now we have a new side pod that's coming as well. So hopefully we get away with that okay. And suspension... Again, we've got a new design coming. Are we out of suspensions? We're out of suspensions. Excellent. Excellent. When is that ready? 1 day. Okay, so that's fine. We should be able to manufacture 1 or 2 before the next race. So that's all good. Guys, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. We will check in with the board because we've not done that for a little while. And they are happy. We're happy. Everybody's happy, which is good. What's this? Must respond. Oh, so this is the regulation change. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Chassis, a complete chassis overhaul. Chassis focused overhaul. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, does it? Let's go for complete overhaul. So this is the chassis is pretty much a write-off, and everything else is 50% drop-off, and this one is everything is 55. well, if we do this, we know we do more chassis research. And so let's vote for that. But we'll have to wait and see what the result is when it comes back. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you next time out in China, which I believe is our first sprint weekend of the season. Take care.